Beneath the mountain's arm, within the Wizard's Vale, through years uncounted, had stood an ancient place that men call Isengard. A black, impenetrable tower known as Orthanc formed its center, surrounded by a ring of imposing walls breached only by the inflow of the River Isen to the north. The power that dwelt here was to command the defense of the West, but in the War of the Ring, when the free peoples of Middle-earth fought against the dread power of Mordor, Isengard was corrupted. It had instead become the personal domain of the wizard Saruman, and a terrible ally to the great enemy himself. Constructed by the exiled Númenóreans in the Second Age of Middle-earth, Isengard was one of the 3 great fortresses of Gondor, guarding entry into what are today the plains of Rohan. But as the strength of men faded, the fortress was neglected, its garrison was reduced, and then recalled. Across many centuries, Isengard passed between any who could claim it: Gondorian chieftains, Dunlendings, and eventually the Rohirrim. In the year 2759 of the Third Age, however, Saruman the Wise, first of the Istari, returned to Middle-earth from his travels in the east. He offered to Rohan and Gondor to make Isengard his home, and from there guard the approach into both kingdoms. At the time when his proposal to King Freolaf of Rohan and Steward Beren of Gondor was accepted, Saruman's role was to be only that of a warden of Isengard, serving at the pleasure of the steward, and a vassal of Gondor. For over a century, Saruman was a powerful ally in this role, restoring the fortress and the lands it commanded to a state unseen since the golden age of the 4 ship kings. The surrounding valley even became known as the Wizard's Vale in his honor. Trusted wholly by Gondor, Saruman was granted the keys to the Tower Orthanc, and within found one of the remaining Palantiri, powerful seeing stones first crafted by the elves. In 2941, after decades of rumors and warnings that the power of the Dark Lord Sauron had returned to Middle-earth, Saruman and the White Council moved against the ruined fortress of Dol Guldur. Here, their suspicions were confirmed utterly, but Sauron was driven from the fortress, seemingly weakened. The battle, however, had a profound effect on Saruman, catalyzing a desire for the One Ring that had slowly been building during his time in Isengard. Through the use of the Palantir, Saruman contacted Sauron, seeking to become his ally and partner. The Istari lost this contest of wills, becoming a willing servant of the Dark Lord, even if he still believed himself to be an equal, and perhaps even capable of one day stealing the power of the ring for himself. With the attention of the kingdoms of men elsewhere, Saruman broke his oath of loyalty to Gondor, claiming Isengard as his own, and adopting the title of its sole lord in 2953. In preparation for the imminent war against Rohan and Gondor, Saruman began to transform Isengard into an imitation of Mordor itself. He summoned to the fortress vast numbers of orcs, and within the deep pits and caverns that honeycomb the surrounding valley, set them to work crafting weapons and armor. He began to breed Uruk-hai, the strongest variation of orc warrior, standing as tall as men and possessing a far deeper cunning. Uruk-hai would form the core of Isengard's armies, equipped with thick armor, broad-bladed swords, and yew-wood bows. To keep the furnaces of Isengard burning, and its industry in a constant state of readiness, Saruman ordered the River Isen dammed, and the surrounding forests cut down. Stone constructs and machinery sprouted within the fortress and its caverns, ceaselessly producing arms, arrows, and siege weaponry. At the outbreak of the War of the Ring, the armies of Isengard, emblazoned with a white hand on a black shield, were among the best equipped in Middle-earth. In battles across the fords of Isen and the Westfold, Isengard scattered what few defenders rallied against them and began burning villages indiscriminately. With Edoras, the capital of Rohan itself, threatened, King Theoden retreated to the ancient fortress within Helm's Deep and prepared for a lengthy siege. The Battle of Helm's Deep was to be Isengard's greatest victory, but the siege would break its power irrevocably. Despite overwhelming numbers and black sorcery that breached the walls of the Hornburg itself, the great host of Isengard's Uruk-hai was flanked by reinforcements of Rohirrim. In the ensuing slaughter, Saruman's host retreated without any semblance of order, entering a forest of strange trees that had mysteriously appeared behind them. None who entered were ever seen again. This unlikely defeat foreshadowed an even greater catastrophe as an army of Ents, roused from their slumber by Saruman's desecration of the natural world, attacked his fortress directly. The surrounding wall was smashed, the river Isen unleashed, and the power of Isengard washed away in the ensuing flood. Saruman was left to rot within his tower, his dreams of an empire destroyed. In the Fourth Age of Middle-earth that followed, a new forest named the Treegarth of Orthanc formed over the old pits and caverns, until the devastation that Saruman had wrought vanished from the world. Isengard was restored as a tower of the reunited kingdom, and its surrounding lands were healed. But for however long that tower remains, it will always be a reminder that no one is above temptation, and the power of the darkness can take root in even the strongest bastion.
The Templin Institute investigates the nations, factions, and organizations of alternate worlds. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to join the Templin Institute, consider pledging to our Patreon page. Along with increased security access, you'll be able to vote in polls to determine future topics, get custom wallpaper every week, and receive some other exclusive rewards.